Hi there. So I got a pretty good response on the hip flexibility work. And the question is what happens when I can't do some of the things that you said on the video last. So usually leg swings people can do. Another option too is just kind of holding the legs and kind of tucking in like that, getting that movement going. Another option is doing that same thing to the side, so getting those movements going. You'll see I have a chair here. So what's likely happening is if your hips are tight, which usually means the front of the hips, sometimes the side of the hips, sometimes can mean the booty, but usually the front and the sides, it's caused by the way people sit in their chairs. So what's generally happening is this bad boy. They're rounding, they're tucking in, the psoas, that's the front of the hips, gets really tight, the hamstrings get really tight, shoulders collapse, all kinds of terribleness that goes on. So what you want to do is you want to try to find those tuberosities, those little hip bones in your booty. Make sure you're balancing right on top of those so that your shoulders are back, your belly is pulling in, so that means you're pulling your belly button against your spine and everything is long. You notice I have really short legs, so what I would do to modify this is I'd actually get a box or something and put it underneath my feet. If I were going to sit on this chair, I'd actually put something underneath my feet. That way I can keep my hips in good alignment. Another way of finding good alignment is putting yourself against a wall. So if you do that, you literally find your knees, push your hips against the wall. And what you'll find is most of us are doing this all the time, and you can't actually put your hip bones forward. So if you literally put your hips against the wall, put your knees at the baseboards, press up against that, what you'll find is a huge stretch through this part of the area of your hips. Because what's happening is we're running around, walking around like this all the time. So just that one bit of awareness on getting the stretch would be a really good idea. So literally find a wall, bend your knees, go against the wall, press your hip bones. That means these two things at the top, as well as your pelvic bone. Make sure that triangle is square against the wall, press against the wall, and feel what that look feels like. Likely that your quads will stretch, your buttocks will get tight, and your belly will get long. And that's really good alignment. You want to try to practice that every day to figure out where your hips are actually supposed to be. For us girls, what we actually tend to do is this. So we let the belly come out. That also causes tight hips, but in a very different way. So we tend to have long hamstrings, tight back, open up our belly, and then again our psoas gets really tight here, and then our hip flexors get really tight. So girls tend to do this, boys tend to do this, but either way it's wrong. What you want to do is make sure your hips are square against the wall, shoulders are back, chest is open, you're pulling your belly button into your spine. And you want to walk around like that. This is actually something you want to do every single day. You want to really keep that hips open. Now if you're not getting that good opening in your hips, if you're not getting some good stretching, let me show you one stretch that you can do after you're warm. So what you want to do is you want to bring your legs out. So I have my regular weightlifting gear on so you can see this. And you want to bend one knee, so you're bringing your hand underneath the knee. And take your other hand and you bring your foot over. And you kind of rock the baby. So what you're doing is you're moving your hip and your leg around so that you're getting some warmth in there. And then you bring your ankle of the top leg to the top of the knee of the bottom leg. So you kind of you're crossing your legs. You bring your hand and you bring it through the triangle here, underneath your thigh, the other hand on the outside of the thigh. And then you start to bend the bottom leg up. And this is your throttle. So if you want more, you bend the leg more, and that brings the foot closer to your chest. If you want less, you bring it out. And that's going to give you some more flexibility there in your hip. Only do this after you're warm, after you worked out, maybe while you're lifting, to get more flexibility in the outer hip. So that's a good idea. Another option too is bending the knee this way. You're having your foot out, you keep kind of coming in, coming in, coming in. Another option here is to cross over. So hope that helps. Let me know if you have any more questions, and I will be happy to put together some more ideas.